I think I was like maybe 15 or something when the CD was handed to me. And then, maybe around 22, I was ready to experience John Coltrane again. And when I put it on that time, another transformation started to happen in my life. I started to hear things, and I would then become really interested in the horn. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. So Jelly's last jam was after the movie Tap. This was with Gregory Hines as well. This was a Broadway production, another just star-studded cast. And during this time is when I really got a chance to like hang out with Gregory. And I would learn about him. We would go everywhere, places I cannot share with you right now, because we have people here. And just, we would do everything. This man became everything to me. Again, a father, a brother, a friend, a consigliere, everything. He was just there for me. And meanwhile, some of these men were beginning to transition. And, you know, I don't, again, I have to continue to remind myself that I am because of what they are or what they were. And so we did Jelly's last jam. I did Jelly's last jam for about, is it all right if I tap dance on this floor, or should I stick to this? All right, thank you. Thank you. So stick to this. I'll stick to this. So I did Jelly's last jam with Gregory. Gregory Hines was the first tap dancer I heard do this. I was like, what in the world was that? Because I'm coming from, you know, so when I heard that the dance can be articulated in such a way, I was mesmerized. I was blown away. Again, I would be silent. I want to do that. And that's everybody, most people, you know, mainly kids of my generation, they think that I came up with this. No, sir. No, ma'am. It was Gregory Hines who introduced this style of dancing to me and to the world. Gregory, nobody was doing this like that before Gregory. Nobody. You can trace that. Gregory did that. Like, that was his thing. And so I'm just picking up, hopefully, where he left off. After Jelly's last jam, which was directed by the great George Wolfe, I would go on to do my first own show, which was Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk. And in Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk, there was a lot of this. I was young, full of gumption. I was just a little, you know, dealing with being a young black man in America and being from where I'm from. I brought all of this to the stage. And I mean, we spoke about, you know, a lot of people think that Bringing the Noise, Bringing the Funk was just about a hip hop show. No, it was not about. It was more about the journey as people. You can't tell one culture's, I believe this to be, you can't speak on one culture without speaking about another. So if you tell the African American experience in America, you have to speak about the Chinese or whomever. You have to speak about every walk of life in order to tell the real story or the whole story. So this is what we did through noise funk. And I want to mention, I believe there's someone here from Noise Funk who I want to acknowledge. We have an ongoing joke. He changes his name depending on the environment. Can you text him and see what his name is right now? But this gentleman was responsible for all of the percussion elements that you saw. I know some of you may recognize or know him from being a bucket drummer in Times Square back in before the stuff, just back. Let me know when he responds, because I don't want to call him out of his name today. Are you here, sir? Who are you today? Are you here? Jared Crawford, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very fine gentleman. Our relationship goes back, and I love what he does. It was like, we would see him, and I'm, in my early days of tap dancing, we would see them performing. Him and another gentleman named Larry Wright. They were drumming too deep, and they would be on the buckets. And one day, they were playing outside, and at intermission during Jelly's Last Jam, I would sneak out with my costume on and everything, And I went to them. I said, "Yo, we about to do our thing." I probably said it just like that. I said, "Yo, get ready, we about to do our thing." Then I didn't see him for like a year or so. Our thing was bring the noise, bring the funk. George Wolf asked me, who would I want to be involved in this production? And I said, yo, I know these bucket drummers. And back then I might have said something like, they be getting busy. And I said, he said, well, who else? I said, yo, I know this cat named Reggie Gaines, who's, a writer. And I probably said something like, he be getting busy. And George asked me, well, what do you want to do? I said, yo, we gotta bring the noise, we gotta bring the funk. Next thing I know, that was the name of the show. Which is another thing that I did not make up. This is a term, that we pick up in the street, but it's also, it was a Chuck D, it was a Public Enemy song, Bring the Noise. We just lifted that from him with his permission, because I later on had a conversation with the Honorable Chuck D. And he was satisfied that we would lift the name and protect it and project it in such a manner. So we went on to do that. That's Chuck. That's Jared Crawford right there. We call him Chalk or Chocolate. So that's him deep in the corner there. This was my first show, my first opportunity to introduce myself as a choreographer to tap dance. Up until that point, I had just been performing other people's choreography, but these great men, Henry Latang's choreography, and my own improvisational approach to expressing myself. So we went on to do Noise Funk for about 3 years or so. And it was a lovely thing. After Noise Funk, I would then start to do like another series of movies. And my next movie would be with the great man, Spike Lee. That movie was Bamboozled. And can you guess which one is me? No, I'm just joking. Bamboozled was about, you can go see it. If you don't know what Bamboozled was about. But this would be my, again, introduction to, not introduction, but this would be my first piece of work with Spike Lee. And so all up until this point, everything, my journey in my career was by invitation. I'm blessed to be invited into these rooms with these great contributors and men and women. My mother used to take me, like in the Tap Dance Kid, I would go to an audition after Tap Dance Kids because I was in show business and whatnot, so you have to do auditions. But I would be in there like joking. I would read the lines, but I'd be like, I'm going to say this my way. You've seen my son. You can imagine how it was. So I would go in there and fumble over the line. I didn't get any roles. When we were searching for an agent, we came across one agent who just really broke me. This person was like, hey, you'll never make it. You're not. It's not going to work. Give it up. I was crying that day, but we came back to Newark and I think maybe we had some Chinese food or something that day. Everything was better. So after Bamboozle, can you come out here to Chicago? After Bamboozle, I was going to do Happy Feet. Those are the movies now. This is another opportunity for me to choreograph and showcase my talents as a choreographer. Yeah, so I did the animation for not only the main character who was Mumble, but for a lot of the other penguins as well. Can you just come out here, sir? I'm going to speak to you in a minute if you don't mind. Right there's fine. Drew, can you give him a spotlight? Thank you. After all of these, maybe 3 or 4 movies, I would then, in the midst of this, begin to do my own productions. And my productions would be, solo productions. Things like Soul Power, things like Solo in Time, things like Savion Glover's Improvography. This is when I formed my company, Savion Glover Productions, and my performances or my productions would become just about this dance, about the music, about the musicality through the dance. It was bare as you see it now. You just hold that picture there. Let's get a look at that. Let's get a look at that. You can Instagram that and chit-chat or whatever about that if you want. Yeah, thank you, Drew. Drew's our lighting person this evening. Yeah. Are you calling Drew or the picture? Oh, Drew, okay, good. Yes, Drew, this picture, that picture. There's a story behind that picture. But so these productions would become strictly about the dance, nothing else. There were no fancy sets. It was just about the dance. I would, again, getting back to now John Coltrane, after these productions, these solo productions, I would then be introduced to some great musicians along the way. Musicians like